We'll start off with a little self-myofascial release. So if you just come to your forearm with the roller underneath the space of your side waist, you can just very carefully place your back on the roller right about at the bra strap line. Now this shouldn't hurt. Okay, if it does, then we need to find you a softer roller, I think. Okay. So wing your elbows upward as you hold your head in your hands. Make sure the back of your neck is long, and then your knees are bent and your feet are on the mat. So you're going to just engage your abs and engage your buttocks and lift your hips just a tiny bit and just kind of inch up your spine, roll up the spine. And you can walk your feet as needed and set your hips down as needed. Just go all the way up to the tops of the shoulders. So you're not going on your neck. You're going just to the tops of the shoulder blades if you can, and then roll back down only to where it's comfortable. So a lot of times if you go below the bra strap line, or it's right across the, right opposite the center of your chest, you start getting into what's called the false ribs and the floating ribs, and those aren't quite as stable because they're not connected to the manubrium. So they can feel a little bit less comfortable. So just honor that in your body. And as you're rolling back and forth and up and down here, see if you can get a sense of if there's any places that you need to, pay more attention to. So you could do like little rolls in one particular spot. So this is primarily for loosening up the muscles. So it's a nice part of a postural correction program. And then we'll go ahead and set your hips back down again, right as the roller is about at or just above the bra strap line. Keep the back of the neck long, and now allow your head, neck, and shoulders to extend backward, and keep the back of your neck long. So be very careful that the back of the neck doesn't overarch backward. Okay, so we're stretching out the upper abs, and then you can go come up out of that position, lift your hips, roll down one segment, 1 inch or so, and then again, put your hips back down and back bend. Okay, so we're going to just keep doing that, just kind of inch up toward the top of the shoulders and back bend over the roller, keeping the back of the neck long at every segment. So just go at your own pace. And we can start getting up into where the top of the shoulders, and you can feel that what we're doing here is a little segmental spinal mobilization. When you get up to the top of the shoulder blades, just pick your head back up again, still cradling the back of your head and your arms, and we'll just go up and down a couple times, just kind of roll that out. Okay, so that was nice. That was fun. So now we'll just come off the roller and set the roller on the other end of the mat, still crossing the mat. So it's going to be below your knee space, and we'll be laying back down again. So just swing our legs over the roller and lay down. Okay. And we'll make sure the back of our neck is long, shoulders are down. We'll bridge or bottom lift up and then down just to lengthen our spine. So bridge is a little higher, bottom lift is more appropriate if you have bone density loss, and make sure the gluteals are engaged. So we'll take our fingers across our belly. So you're going to span your fingers nice and wide. Okay. Keep your shoulder blades down your back, and then take a breath. And feel when you take a breath, your belly rises. And then feel as you exhale, your belly drops down. You're pulling your navel in towards your spine. And see if you can just also lift your pelvic floor slightly inside your body. And inhale again, let your belly rise into your hands. And exhale, pull your navel in and pull up your pelvic floor. And then continue breathing. See if you can get into your rib cage breathing here. So move your hands to the ribs right below your bosom or your chest. Inhale and see if you can expand your ribs sideways. Exhale and feel your ribs pull inward toward your spine. So we'll just do a couple more. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. So this is our postural lateral breathing, and this is how we breathe and keep our abs engaged at the same time. So take another breath with your hands on your belly. Exhale, pull in your scoop, pull up your pelvic floor, bring one leg and then the other up into a close tabletop. And from here, just toe touch toward the floor. So we'll just alternate leg, toe touch or toe taps. And if this feels good to you, super. Coming in close to the body and then toe tapping down and returning, okay, is intentional. So we want to be doing this from closer than a chair position because we're hoping to strengthen the deeper hip flexors. Okay, so you'll feel this way inside your body. If this is too much, you could have one foot on the floor and bringing one knee in, and then also focus on bringing the knee in closer to your body. And then we can also add on a little bit. If you're able to keep your spine and your torso stable, begin doing single knee extensions. So you're extending the whole leg. And the height of your leg in the room is determined by you. We want to make sure that your hips, your pelvis, your belly, your spine, all are staying in place. Okay, so let's just do whatever you've chosen. Just do a couple more on each side, even out your sides. Good, and then bring your knees into your hands and hold on to your knees and just take your knees around in circles. So we're just gonna massage the hip sockets and feel that your back is rocking backward and forward just a little bit. Okay, let's go the other direction. So we love to do this. We're just nourishing our hip joints and our spine and our sacrum. And then hug your knees in for a moment and take a breath. And then exhale, put both feet back down on the floor and the roller is still underneath your knee space. Okay, so now let's breathe and reach our arms up toward the ceiling and really reach so that your shoulder blades round off the mat and pull your shoulder blades down. Okay, so your heels are fairly close to your sit bones. Legs are parallel. As you exhale, again, engage your buttock muscles, pull up your pelvic floor, and come up into a bottom lift. Now, if you have bone density loss, so an osteo something, stay here. If you don't, you can come up higher. Make sure that when you do choose a higher position, you are still on your shoulder blades and you are able to, keep your neck position the same. Okay, so from here, we're just holding for a moment. So wherever we are, feel whether you can sense if your glute muscles, your buttock muscles are working evenly. And if you feel like one is working harder than the other, see if you can just bring your mind to that area and make them even out. So one more breath, just holding. And then we're going to go down and just slightly touch down and then lift right back up again. So it's a down without resting and lift back up. And 3 and up. Keep breathing, 4 and up. Keep pulling in your abdominals lightly, 5 and up. And 6 and up. Let's go to 10, shall we? So we'll just keep moving with our breath. 8 and 9 and 10. Beautiful job. Okay, so we'll lower on down. Now take your arms and place your hands behind your left thigh and straighten your left leg up toward the ceiling. Round your elbows a little bit. So the shoulder blades are down your back and we're just stretching. Now, if you feel very tight in your hamstring, try this. Pull your thigh in and then press your foot up toward the ceiling a few times. And so we're using our quad muscle to actively release the hamstring. And sometimes, when things feel really tight, the best thing we can do is move them as opposed to holding them still. Okay, it's just how our body likes to work. Good, let's go ahead and do that with the other leg. So hands circle around the right thigh, straighten your leg up toward the ceiling. And if the back of your right leg feels particularly stiff or tight this morning, just go ahead and pull your knee in and then press your leg into your hands. Now we just do a few repetitions, and amazing how the movement kind of warms up our tissues. It feels like we can extend our leg more easily. Good. Now, let's go ahead and go back to the right leg. Hold on to the back of the right leg and extend the left leg out long. So you're above the level of the roller. So you've got the roller there to feel. And take a breath and exhale, switch the leg you're holding, okay? So good. So there's our pattern. So we have our single long leg stretch. Now, if you do not have bone density loss or neck issues, you can bring your head, neck, and shoulders up. You can pull yourself up with your arm on your leg, and you can continue on. Only do this if you can get up to your bra strap line, and you can look down toward your thighs or belly, okay? If you're somewhat back here, that's a lot of strain on your neck. So we would rather have you up high or not at all than somewhere in the middle. You can feel the difference in your own neck, I'm sure. So we'll go ahead and do one more on each side. Even out your sides, and then again, take your knees into your hands. Take your knees around in circles a couple times in each direction. So a little bit more brisk this time. And now hold your legs together and take your knees around in a circle, massaging the back of the sacrum. And the other direction. Good. So let's go ahead and put your feet on the roller. Good, and just to start with, just roll back and forth on the bottoms of your feet a couple of times. Just kind of feel the bottoms of your feet on the roller, your hips are down, okay? And then we'll pull the roller in as close to our bum as we can. Put your hands down, your arms are down on the mat, lengthen the back of the neck. And then press into the roller with the soles of your feet and feel your buttocks tighten up before you lift. We'll go on up. Good. So here we are in a bottom lift or a bridge, right? It's up to you. And let's go back and forth with our feet on the roller. So you'll feel your hamstring behind the knee joint working. It's a beautiful thing. These are the brakes in life, right? So our front thigh muscles are quadriceps. That's the accelerator. And the back thigh muscles, the hamstrings, that's the brake. It's important if you're going to drive a car that the brakes are working. Agreed? So we'll do one more here. Good, and then lower on down. Okay. So now let's go ahead, roll to one side and get up. Place the roller underneath the backs of your thighs. Bring your hands back behind you and lift and open your chest. Now, if your wrists and shoulders are okay with it, lift up your hips and take yourself for a ride back and forth on the roller. If they're not okay with it, you keep your bum down and just go side to side with your thighs on the roller, and then maybe move it down a little bit and side to side. So that's how you would do a self-myofascial release for your hamstrings if rolling back and forth like this is not comfortable or accessible. Okay, you can mix it up too. All right then, so let's go ahead and come off the roller for a moment. We'll take our dumbbells, take our hand weights. So if you don't have hand weights at home, you can use cans or water bottles. Just making sure that they are an even weight from side to side. We'll take our hand weights, lay back down again. Organize our body with a bridge. Make sure the back of the neck is long, and then bring your arms up toward the ceiling. Okay, so here we are. Now let's go ahead and pull up our pelvic floor, pull our belly in, and bring one or both legs to tabletop. Okay, so from here, we'll extend our right arm overhead as our left leg reaches long. Keep your left leg at about a 45-degree angle and keep your right arm just before the cheekbone. Okay, so you can see everything in your peripheral vision. So you're holding out here, right? Can you feel the diagonal across your body? Hopefully, yes. And then bring those limbs in. Let's do the other side. Reach your left arm and your right leg. Right leg's at about 45 degrees. And you're going to hold out here. And you've got your left arm just right above the cheekbone, okay? And then bring it back in. Good. So now let's go ahead and just do this with a breath pace pattern. So you choose how you're breathing. Choose a breathing that feels like you are using your breath to stay strong in your body. So you can try inhaling as you extend, or exhaling as you come back in, or you can try exhaling and inhaling, okay? So the main point is please breathe. Yeah. So a nice breath pace, opposite arm and leg reach, and we're just allowing ourselves to do an alternating side pattern right now. Let's do one more on each side. Good, and then bring your knees in. Take your legs around in a circle, massage the edges of the sacrum a couple times in each direction. Perfect. Now let's go ahead and bring our legs down and let's roll over onto our side. So we'll use our arm as a pillow and make sure that the crown of the head to your tailbone is lined up with the back of the mat. And then we'll go ahead and extend our legs long and bring them forward to the front of the mat. So you're a little bit angled right at your hip line. Pull up your side waist. The hand that is on top, palm is going to be facing outward. Bring it up and pull your shoulder blade down. Now go ahead and bring your bottom leg up to hip height. And let's do 5 little circles in each direction. So your leg comes back and around and forward. Now use your belly to keep the torso stable. Okay, so feel as if you're reaching long out of your belly down your leg. Your leg is as long as it possibly can be. 4 and 5. Good, and changing directions. 1 and 2. And you can feel that the weight that you're holding, there's a little bit of stabilization that needs to happen in your shoulder to keep that weight right above your armpit. And 4 and 5. Nicely done. So lower the leg and lower the arm. So let's bend both knees. Good. And we'll let the weight go and place your spider fingers on the mat in front of you, shoulders down. Bring your leg up to about hip height, and we'll do our bicycles, 4 in each direction. Okay, so bring your knee up in toward your torso, extend your leg long, find the hamstring stretch, bring your leg back, and once you're in the back position, make sure that you're still stable here. Bend your knee as if you were going to kick yourself in the rear end. That increases the stretch, and then you bring the bent leg forward. So that's 1. Extend for the hamstring stretch, bring your leg back, feel that you're growing long through your hip, down your leg, increase the stretch by bending your knee, and then bring the bent leg forward. That's 2. And extend, hamstring, extend, hip, bend for your thigh, and forward. And that's 3, and here's our last rep in this direction, okay? Back we go. Bend the leg, bring the leg forward, extend. Now other direction, bend your knee, take the bent leg back, find the stretch, and then extend your leg long. So you're growing long from your waist. And then forward to the hamstring stretch, bend, bent leg back, extend. And 3, forward, bend your knee, take the bent leg back, find the stretch, lengthen your leg, and last 1, forward, bend, bent leg back, extend, and down to rest. Nice work. Okay, so now we're committed. We better roll over to the other side. So we'll lay down on our side, head supported on your hands or on your arm, crown of the head to tailbone lined up with the back of the mat, legs forward. We're holding our hand weight, palm is facing the same direction as you are. And we bring it up, pull our shoulder blade down. Good. Pressing our leg down into the mat, we lift the other leg up, and we're doing 5 circles in each direction. We're making these circles very mindful, okay? So we want to go slow enough that we can feel the work in the belly. So we're breathing, our side waist is lifted. Perhaps we're lifting the corners of the mouth as well. So we can tell our brain that we're enjoying this work. We know it's making us stronger and more stable. We're breathing, 4 and 5. We can feel the subtle work in our rotator cuff happening, and then we'll change directions. Good. Keep pressing your foot down into the mat. Keep breathing. Keep using your side waist. And 4 and 5. Beautiful job. Rest the leg, rest your arm, bend both knees. So now we let go of the dumbbell. We just use spider fingers in front of us to help stabilize. Side waist is lifted, belly is pulled in. We bring our top leg up, bends the knee in toward our chest, and then from that place, extend long to find the hamstring stretch. Then we bring our leg back, we find a hip stretch, and then from here, without moving your thigh closer to you, bring your foot back as if you were going to try to bring it to your rear end. Increase the stretch. Bring the bent leg forward. Extend long. Long leg goes back. Keep your thigh in place. Bring your heel closer to your bum. Then bring the bent leg forward. This is 3 of 4. And come back. And bend back. There's your thigh stretch. And here's 4. So we have our hamstring stretch. Lengthen through the hip. Stretch our thigh. Bring the leg forward. Now reversing direction. Bent knee goes back. And then we lengthen our leg long. So feel like you're lengthening out of your torso. Bring your long leg forward. Find your hamstring stretch. Bend your knee. Bent knee comes back. Lengthen. Long leg forward for 3. Bend. Find the stretch. Extend long. And forward. And bend. Extend. Lengthen. And forward. Very nice. Let's go ahead and rest down. That was good, you guys. So let's go ahead and come up. It's not a bad idea to have a little sip of water at this juncture. Okay, and let's take our roller and place it at the front of your mat, and again, horizontally on the mat, okay? And we'll come into hands and knees for a moment. Just get ourselves organized here. Place your forearms on the roller. So you've got your belly pulled in here, and your thighs are about as wide as your hip bones. Okay, and we're going to push the roller forward slightly and then pull our shoulder blades down to bring it in closer. So just roll the roller forward and then pull your shoulder blades down to bring it back. So we'll just do a few of these, just warming up our shoulder blade position. And additionally, if you have a low back that really does not like extension or back bending, this is a good position for you to continue on working, okay? If your back is okay with laying down on your belly, let's go ahead and do that. Just lay on down, pull into belly. And then from here, you'll take your roller underneath your forearms. Your thumbs are pointed upward. And you can have kind of a Y position in your arms as opposed to an I position. So you can give yourself more room in the shoulder. So now roll the roller up so your shoulders hide your neck, and then roll the roller back so your shoulder blades pull down. It's almost like you're thinking about a tortoise, you know, pulling his head into the shell, bringing his head out of the shell, right? So we can all channel my giant tortoise Django right now. Hiding your neck, and extending it out. And they do say, one more, that a tortoise can't get anywhere unless he sticks his neck out. And I think that's a really nice metaphor for life, actually. So now, once you've stuck your neck out and you're ready to go somewhere, if you're okay with lifting, pull your belly up hard, press your pubic bone into the mat, pull up your pelvic floor. Now press down into the roller, bend your elbows, and come up to a place where you feel there's work, but there's no discomfort, and then come on down. So keep breathing, pull your belly in, roll the roller in, pull your shoulder blades down, and come up, and then come back down again. You can see this movement can be quite small, okay? So we're working on our posture here and our strength, and we're also working on the whole back extensor chain here by using our buttock muscles and pressing down into the mat. Let's just do one more here. Come up and then down. Good. We'll take our hands off the roller. Just go ahead and stack your hands and place your forehead on your hands. Just take a couple of breaths here. Good. And then from here, still with your pubic bone pressed down and your forehead on the mat, bend your right knee and see if you can kind of think about kicking yourself in the booty a couple of times. Just kick, kick, and then lengthen that leg down. And then take your left leg and kick, kick, and lengthen that leg down. Okay, so we start moving right into our single leg kicks here. So we can stay flat, okay, or we can come up onto our forearms, make little fists, and then pull your shoulders down. It's almost like you would be pulling yourself forward with traction on the mat. Lengthen the back of your neck, pull up your belly a lot, and then try it again. Kick, kick, and kick, kick. And if this feels okay to you, you can feel that you are stabilizing more. You have to use more ab here. That's great. If it doesn't feel right to your back, just lay flat and continue the exercise. So just kick, kick, and kick, kick. And then we can try a little foot choreography. Point, flex, point, flex, point, flex, point, flex. All right, just do one more on each side. Good. And then we'll go ahead and tuck your toes under, lift up your kneecaps, pull up your belly, and then see if you can lift up into a plank without back bending. Okay, good. So we're here. Now what? We'll just hold for a moment. Just breathe. And then bring your knees down and walk your hands back. Take your knees wider and press back to a wide-legged child's pose. So you can lay your torso down in between your thighs and just take a moment. If you want to protect your upper back from flexion, make fists, stack your fists on top of each other, and then you have a place to put your forehead. So just keep breathing. We'll take two more breaths here and just stretch the back. And then we'll come up. That was very good. Let's come up to all fours. Let's make sure we've got our hand weights available. And on all fours, we'll exhale to pull our belly up. Inhale to drop our belly down. So we're moving into a little cat-cow. Sometimes it's called camel cat, something, I don't know. Anyway, they call it different names, but I know it is cat-cow. Exhale and inhale. I never understood the cow part. The cat I get, the Halloween cat. The cow I never understood, but then if you think about it, in India, they don't eat cows, and so the cows get very old, and when cows or horses get old, they kind of like have that sag in their back, don't they? So we don't tend to see very many old cows in America because we eat them. So there you have it. One more on each. Nicely done. So now we'll come into a neutral spine. So let's take our one of our hand weights in our right hand. You can make a fist for the left arm, or you can come down to your forearm if your wrist is not comfortable, okay? Extend your left leg out long. Find your toe pads on the mat. Spread your toes wide and press through your heel, okay? So you have a nice rudder of support. Now bring your right arm next to you with the elbow bend. Extend it back. And then circle it forward, keep it low, keep it below your shoulder. So you're just doing like a little bend, straighten, circle forward. Bend, straighten, circle forward. Keep your belly pulled in. Okay, so we're working on the posterior shoulder. And you may feel something special happening in the right glute, right? So the left leg is staying strong. Now, if you want to increase the stability challenge in the exercise, just lift the left leg. Okay, so it still stays strong, you're still flexed, now the leg's just lifted. And if that's not enough challenge for you, lift your right toes off the mat. And then we start really working on some core stability. Only do that if you feel ready for it. It's not a requirement, it's just a serving suggestion, okay? And last one, perfect job. So we'll bring our leg back in and let's just go ahead and switch sides directly. So right leg extends out long. The right arm is supporting in a way that's comfortable for you, either fist, wrist, or forearm. Left hand holding the dumbbell. Spread your right toes wide and really press them into the mat and then press back through your heel. So you're getting a little calf stretch while we're at it here. Left shoulder down, bring your elbow to your waist, extend the weight, and then circle your arm forward and just kind of retract your little wing and then extend it, circle it, and retract, okay? So that's it. Just keep moving with your breath. Do about, 10 of these or so and get some good mindful movement. You're feeling the back of your shoulder, working both shoulders. So you've got one shoulder stabilizing with your hand on the floor, and you've got one shoulder stabilizing with the weight in the air. So it's a combination of what we call closed chain and open chain. So it's fun. Fun for you, fun for me, fun for our bodies. And pay attention to the left glute that's stabilizing as well. Let's finish up with one more. Good, and then just bring your leg back in. Let's take our knees apart, lean back, and we can actually pull our roller in close to us and do some wrist rotations here and just give ourselves a little moment to kind of shake it out through the wrists. Well, that was fun as well. We like to have fun, don't we? So let's go ahead and take the roller and place it lengthwise on your mat, okay? And we'll have our weights as well. So when we get ready to lay down, just make sure that your weights are somewhere that you can reach them. And we'll be laying down on our back. So if you sit on the end of the roller, okay, just be careful about your tailbone and such. You can use your arms and abs to support yourself as you plank down, okay? Once you get down, hopefully the back of your head is on the roller and your sacrum is also on the roller. So the rollers are generally 36 inches long. We just want to have our whole body supported. So we'll just organize ourselves so that we can feel our spine is along the length of the roller, okay? And then find your hand weights and bring them up over your chest. We'll just do a couple of shoulder slaps here. So reach up toward the ceiling, okay? And reach and then embrace the roller with your shoulder blades. Reach and embrace the roller, okay? Now your feet are on the floor, okay? Your legs are as wide as they need to be for stability. So if you want to work harder here, bring your feet and knees closer together. So if you just tripod your legs, that's cheating. Your feet and your knees are the same distance from each other. Now go ahead and bring your hands together over your chest. Okay, so you've got both weights in both hands, okay, together. And then just make a little circle. Like you're making a circle on the ceiling or in the sky, wherever you might be practicing today. And just make your circle in the same direction. So right now I'm going counterclockwise. Okay, you can be going clockwise if you want. And feel how when you make the circle, your belly has to respond to keep you on the roller. Okay, and let's go the other direction. So this is a nice way to warm up the oblique abdominals. And it's interesting that just moving our arms like this could create that internal work in our body. And one more in the new direction, and then we'll let that go. So make sure that we're still organized on the roller. Separate your hands again, and then make your elbows nice and rounded. And we'll just do a few hug a tree. So inhale, open your arms. Exhale, bring your hands back together over your chest. So just breathing, try to make your movement even, and you'll notice right away if one arm's moving faster than the other because the roller will shift underneath you. So as I said, just as needed, when you feel like you need more challenge, just begin to heel toe your legs a little closer together, okay? Yeah. And then we'll go ahead and just take your right arm out to the side by itself. Just go slow and notice as you take the right arm out that you start pulling into the diagonal. So you remember the diagonal that we were identifying earlier, right? So you've got your right arm going out and the muscles from your right chest to your left low ab and your right inner thigh are all activating to keep you stable. So just keep going with the right arm for a few more reps. And just keep breathing and see if you can pull that diagonal tight across your body. I've heard it called the Miss America sash, you know, but we have to do the other side too. They generally just have the sash on one side. So let's go ahead and do the left side now. So we'll inhale, take the arm out to the side, exhale, bring it back to center. Inhale, exhale. Okay, so this side, you'll feel the left chest and rib cage to your right low ab to your left inner thigh. So thinking about that zigzag or diagonal across your abdomen and then going into the inner thigh. Right? It's all keeping you stable. And one more. Good. So now we'll bring our elbows down and open your palms and get a nice chest stretch here. And you can also extend one leg, flex your foot, and see if you can feel a stretch in the front of your hip. So we're doing all this without allowing our back to lift. So it's not a, you know, just flop out there kind of thing. We're staying active in our belly to protect our back. And if you don't feel a stretch with your arms down low like this, you can continue moving your arms along the floor up beside you to where you feel a stretch happening. And just stop when you feel like you've got a pretty good stretch for your body. We don't want to go into any kind of discomfort. You could go over your shoulder if you'd like. I don't know if that's a safe place for you to go. And you can start moving along the floor with your arms and just doing some snow angels here on the mat and feeling where it is that you need to work to open your chest a little bit more. So when we're talking about posture and we're talking about improving bone density, a lot of that has to do with stretching what's tight so that we can work the appropriate muscles, okay? So let's just go ahead and take one more breath here. We'll switch the leg that's long, stretch the other side. Yeah, and just hang out here for a moment where you feel like you're getting a good chest opener. Don't worry, we'll be working again in about 5 seconds. And then we'll go ahead and bring our elbows in next to us. Bend your elbows and you're holding your weights right next to your rib cage. Okay, so we'll drag the other leg in, lift and lower our hips, organize our spine, and then exhale your left leg up to tabletop. Now, see if you can lift both elbows at the same time. And if you feel pretty unstable, like you're bonking back and forth, then you just don't have to lift the left elbow. So the left leg is lifted, you're stabilizing elbows on the left, the right arm is up toward the ceiling, okay? If you can lift your left elbow, go ahead. You can even go ahead and lift all the way up toward the ceiling, all right? So we'll do an opposite arm and leg reach here. Now this time, instead of alternating sides, we're gonna stay with the same side for 10. When you come back to center, press on the inner knee with your arm, with your hand, keeping that shoulder blade down. And just do that for the first 3 so that you really feel the abdominal muscles engaging. Okay, so press. And if you really do like that isometric, you can keep doing it or not, right? So sometimes we can just get the feeling and then keep going. And 5, so we're going for 10 here. 6, I'm just going to hover my elbow because I'm up on my trapeze table, so it's not just like rolling off the roller over here. It would be quite a drop to the floor, so just for safety. But 9, you guys can take it where you need it to go for your own challenge. And 10, good. And then we'll go ahead and bring our elbows down. Left leg was working, stretch the left leg out, dorsiflex your foot again. So just flex your foot like you're standing, and we'll just take a quick little stretch for that hip flexor before we move on. Okay, and bring your leg back in, organize your spine on the roller, and then bring your right leg up to tabletop. So on this side, the left arm is going to come up, and the right elbow can lift, or the whole arm can lift, right? And we're going to go into our opposite arm and leg reach again. And come in and press your hand on your inner upper thigh, right above the knee, inner knee. And reach and press. So you can just do that for the first 3, or continue doing it every time if you really like that feeling of the isometric. And we'll do 10, so this is 4. And keep breathing, keep pulling your belly in. So now you can feel the diagonal along with a lot of other things happening. 5. Keep pulling belly in. Remember that you have a pelvic floor that you can recruit as well. So try just pulling your pelvic floor gently inward and upward and see how that adds to your stability. And try pulling your abdominals inward and see how that adds to your stability. Good. And 9 and 10. Good. And then we'll bring our left elbow down, extend the right leg long, flex your foot as if you were standing on the floor, keeping your belly pulled in to stretch out. That was good, you guys. So let's just do a little fun one next, shall we? So we're still on the roller. We'll lift and lower our hips, organize our spine, and then hover both elbows, okay? So we'll start with the upper body movement. Reach one arm straight up and do like a little cross cut. So your fist ends up right above the center of your chest, and then bring that arm down. So the elbows aren't touching. And the other arm comes up and bring it down, okay? So it's punching. So when you do your punch, right, you can feel your belly tighten because you're doing a little bit of an offset, right, towards center. Now, see if this is okay, right? So when you punch with the right arm, lift the left leg and put it back down. And lift the right leg, put them back down. So you're lifting an opposite arm and leg. And of course, your elbow is very close. So if you feel like the punch and the lift together shifts you over too much, your elbow's right there. It'll be your training wheels, you know, so for safety, right? So we're just doing a little cross crawl, a little marching and punching, and it's a beautiful thing. do one more on each side. Good. And then we'll let the weights go. Cross your arms across your chest and take your legs wide apart. And then just roll to one side of your spine. So you're going to roll between the shoulder blade and the spine a few times on one side. Just going to massage your buttock and your hip and in between your shoulder blades, those muscles. And then we'll go to the other side and do the same thing. Just from the shoulder blade to the spine, just back and forth a few times. Just give yourself a little muscle massage there. And we'll come back to center. Be mindful of where your weights are so you don't roll your hip onto them, and roll off the roller and come up. Fabulous. So now, of course, we need to do some standing work. So we'll hold our weights in our hands, lift the corners of the mouth, roll your shoulder blades down, pull your belly in. Okay, and we'll start by just stepping back with one leg. So just step back with your right leg, land on your toes, and do a bicep curl at the same time. And then step forward and uncurl. Take your left leg back. Step back, land, uncurl forward. So as we're doing this movement, think about your pubic bone to navel to sternum line. So from your zipped up, your whole front line. Okay, so ideally, your abdominals are working to help support you as you're stepping back and forth. There's not a whole lot of body English going on. We don't want a lot of sway in the torso. We really want the torso to be solid and supporting us in this movement. And see if you can step back far enough behind you that you're feeling actually a little bit of a stretch in the front of your hip. Okay. So we'll just do a couple more on each side. Keep breathing. Perfect. And then we'll come back to the front of our mat, stand on both feet, do a couple shoulder rolls up, back and down. Belly pulls in, pelvic floor lifts, shoulders are back and down. We'll take one step back with the right leg. Spread your toes wide, make the legs strong, pull your belly in so you zip up your front line, drop your tailbone, bring your arms out to the side. Nice. Now keep your arms out to the side at or below shoulder height. Inhale, rotate. Exhale, center. Inhale, rotate. Exhale, center. Good. Bring your arms down. Step forward. Step back with the left leg. Land on your toes. Spread your toes wide. Make that leg strong. Zip up your front line. Remember your pelvic floor. Raise your arms. Pull your shoulders down. Inhale, rotate. Exhale, center. Inhale, rotate. Exhale, center. Arms down, pull into belly, step forward. Another one on each side. Back with the right leg. Spread your toes. Zip up your front line. Lift your arms. Inhale, rotate. Exhale, center. Inhale, rotate. Exhale, center. Arms come down, step forward. Staying zipped up, step your left leg back, land on your toes, make the legs strong, pull up your pelvic floor and zip up. Arms come up. Inhale, rotate. Exhale, center. Inhale, rotate. Exhale, center. Arms come down and we step forward. Nicely done. So now let's do our single leg stance. So if we can stand on our left leg and just take weight off of our right leg, that is stage one. Your hips do not get to shift or go sideways on you. So we have to push down into the floor with our left leg. If you can lift your leg completely, that could be a second phase. Okay, so it's toes down if you feel like you need it, or leg is completely lifted. Okay, take your arms out to the side and do 5 circles in each direction. 3, 4, 5. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. Lower your arms, lower your leg. Shake it out. Okay, shift over to the right leg, tighten up that leg, and then take weight off the left leg. So you can just go to your toes if you need to. And if you're okay with lifting the whole leg, go ahead and do it. Make sure your hips stay level. Take your arms out to the side, 5 circles in each direction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. And then bring your leg down, bring your arms down, shoulder rolls. That was very good, you guys. Let's go ahead and we'll sit back down on our mats. So from here, I'm just going to have my roller crossways across the mat, and I'll come around and it's behind me. So I'm not really going to use it for anything, right? I'm just going to have it here. I could cheat and say I could lean back against it, but if you try that, it's going to roll. So we'll be using our dumbbells for this one. Now bend your knees a little bit and take your hands behind your thighs and roll your shoulders back and down, and then lean back a little bit, just enough to feel your abs working, but your back is straight. See if it's okay to let go of your arms on your legs and keep your back the same. If letting go makes your back flex, that's not good. So we just have to hold this position isometrically. If you can let go, let's go ahead and just hang out here and do a few biceps curls while we're here, okay? So squeeze your thighs together, lift up your pelvic floor. This is very good. Okay. And last one, and then go ahead and hold on to the back of your thighs. Come up, open your chest. That's very nice. So now take a breath. Exhale, come back again, okay? Keep your shoulders back, pull your belly in, extend your right leg. Turn your toes outward on your right leg. Hold your legs in position. See if you can let go and hold on with your abs. If your back flexes, you just keep holding on, and more biceps curls. Keep that right leg straight. Don't let it drop. Keep squeezing your thighs together. Keep breathing. I know it's hard, but it's good for you. So we're going to keep moving. Keep breathing and keep getting stronger. And last one, and grab your legs, take your feet together and hold on to your ankles for a moment and just pull your chest forward with a flat back. Just take a few breaths and stretch your thighs and legs. One more breath. And we'll hold on to the back of the thighs again. Take your shoulders down, your chest high, pull into belly and lean back to feel your abs. Extend your left leg, turn your toes out. Legs stay together, let go if you can, and biceps. I'm just going to do a lot of biceps today. It's nice to have good, strong arms. And 2, and 1, grab your legs, pull into belly, hinge forward. Soles of the feet together, knees apart, grab onto your shins and pull your heart forward. Just take a few breaths. Good, so we'll set the weights aside. And let's come onto our side on our forearm. Knees bent, hips bent, and your shoulder and elbow are lined up, okay? So now just push into the mat with your bottom arm and lift your waist. So you can already feel some work beginning in the bottom side waist. Now, if you want more, you can push your hips up. So you lift your hips. If that feels like it's too much for your shoulder, just lower your hips back down and keep arching away from the mat, okay, actively, okay? And if the hips lifted doesn't feel like enough, extend your legs and you move into a side plank. Okay, so we're just going to hold whatever position feels like it's giving us the most benefit for a moment and smile. And then keeping your abdominals engaged, just lower down. And let's do the other side. So I'm just going to get rid of my roller at this point because it's just in the way. And we'll be on our forearm. You have your shoulder and your elbow lined up. Side waist is lifted, knees and hips are bent, And then pull your waist away from the mat. And just see if that's enough. And if it's not, lift your hips. And if that's enough, fabulous. And if it's not, straighten your legs. Okay, so we are just progressively working on our side support. And you can feel your abdominals working and your shoulder and your hip and everything. And then keep your muscles engaged, lower down. That was very nice. Okay, so now from your hip, okay, bring your legs into your Z-sit position. So now you have your hands down on the mat. Both shoulders are down. Good. The corners of the mouth are lifted. And we'll breathe and reach up for length. And then exhale over. Just get a nice side stretch here. Take a breath. And take another breath. And then use your bottom arm and your abs. Next time you exhale, come up and bring both arms out to the side and find your balance. And then bring your hand down, your other hand down, grasp onto your shin and move into a counter stretch. You're going to take 2 or 3 breaths there and just feel the side body working, stretching. And then come back to your balance point and float gracefully down to your forearm and come over to the side. So you can just keep going with the side stretch. And if you'd like to go into rotation, inhale and open your heart toward the ceiling. Exhale and pull deeply into your belly so your rib cage has room to rotate. And you can rotate onto your forearms. Just be careful about hip replacements and bone density loss in the bottom hip in this position. So if you feel like anything is not quite right, what you would do is go on your back and cross that bottom leg over the top like I'm showing you right now. That would be your alternative if you feel uncomfortable in your knee, hip, anything, okay? So it's all good. If you are on your back, you can continue bringing the bottom support leg closer and kind of go up onto your toes to get the stretch a little deeper if needed. Let's just take one more breath here. Okay, you're in your mermaid. Inhale, open your heart, unwind, exhale, come up, and we'll switch our legs around. So shoulders are down. Bring your arm up and exhale over. We'll take a couple of breaths and just feel the side stretch. Then on your next exhale, use your abs, push with the bottom arm and come up and see if you can find your balance. Then grab your shin, bring the other arm up and find your counter stretch for a couple of breaths. Then come back to your balance, float gracefully down to your forearm, and come back into your side stretch. And then here we choose rotation, or we can go to figure 4 if you like. So inhale, open your heart, exhale, provide room for your ribs to rotate. And if that feels at all like not so great on your hip, knee, right, whatever, then go ahead and just flip on your back and take your figure 4 stretch. And you can bring your supporting leg in as close as you need to. I like the idea of just coming up onto my toes in this stretch because it just feels like I can get that extra little stretch without having to reach through and hold my leg and all of that business that then creates flexion in our body that we just spent an hour trying to undo, right? So it's a nice alternative. We just breathe and wait for the magic to happen. You know, everything is connected. And so, you know, as a yoga teacher, you know, one might, you know, you hear like breathe into the tight spots and And you're like, well, you can't really breathe into those spots because your lungs are up here and you might be tight down in your hip, right? But every time you breathe, it changes the relationship of muscles and bones. And so you really can, focus your breath into a place that you need it. And think about how the relationship of your breathing and the fascia in your body, it's all intertwined. It's all connected, right? We really know that now. And so you literally can breathe and influence other areas of the body with your breath. And then we'll breathe in and unwind and come up. And let's pull our shoulders down and keep our abs in until I see you again.